What is up, party people? Welcome back to another video here. So we got something a little different here. This is not my typical content here, but I want to get this video out because I think a lot of people are really missing out and they just have no idea. So if you're a retail player currently and you are just burnt on Mythic Plus, rating, PvP, your queues are too long, LFG sucks, and the game is just dry, we can admit it. It just is what it is. It's just a fact at this point. The game is going to be pretty dead until 11.1 comes out in about a month and a half or so. Month and a half. So what are you going to do till then? And if you're like me, I had no motivation to log into retail at all. So I actually started exploring SoD, man. SoD I haven't played since the 40 phase. And let me give you some updates on all the stuff that they've added, because I think you will be very happily surprised, and I really think you'll enjoy this if you try this out. So I want to break it down to three reasons to try to play it now. One is going to be the just the cool shit, basically. Two is going to be the leveling. Three is going to be the catch-up systems that are in place. So, you know, number one, first and foremost, we got the cool shit. So I am just blown away. So what I highly recommend you do is you go to a Wowhead SoD talent calculator, click through some of these classes and look at the runes that they've added. Okay, you can look through all these runes that they've added into the game, and they are just so cool. The game feels complete. Like Classic Vanilla just did not feel complete. Obviously the class design, this was an old game, but you know, specifically even hybrids, Shadow Priests, Elite Shamans, or just Shamans, Priests, Druids in general, being able to have like that, a complete class again, just feels amazing. So really go through these. Like, you know, I'll give you some highlights for some of these classes. Druid is the class I have at 60 currently. I was playing Boomy and Resto mostly. They both feel phenomenal. Boomy's got Starfall, Star Surge, Sunfire, Moonfire. They got Eclipses. They got, what else? Like Actual Hurricane actually is an AoE spell again. They have, what other one is there? I'm missing out. Anyway, I think that's all for that. Rest of the Druids have Efflorescence Tree Form. I had no idea they added Tree Form. Like the Burning Crusade Wrath of the Lich King version. They have Nourish, Life Loom. It just feels like an amazing healing. They have Wild Growth as well. Like everything that you can think of that these classic classes were missing, they have now. And I don't know why I was sleeping on this. I don't know why I didn't notice this. You know, mages can be healers, obviously. If you play Frost, you could have Deep Freeze, Frozen Orb, Ice Lance. I don't know too much about the mage healing spec, but I know it's like elements of like a preservation evoker, if you will, where it's like using time and stuff like that. So you can do that. You can play a Shockedin Holy Paladin. Like, what the heck, man? You can have Holy Shock. You have Exorcism. You can take, there's this one, was that on the helm here? Which one was it? That gotta be right. Shock and all. You gain 200% of your intellect as spell damage for 1 minute after you holy shock, and then you can kind of do offensive things with that. That's really cool. Rogues can also be tanks. You know, Shamans, Elite Shamans can have Lava Burst. They have AoE Flame Shock. They have Lava Surge procs for instant Lava Burst, just like retail. You can play like a hybrid between Riptide and Lava Burst, have them both at the same time. You can have Feral Spirits, like the OG Feral Spirits that were like insane. I'm using it currently leveling, and it's crazy. Warlocks have Chaos Bolt. I don't even know all the stuff that they have. Backdraft. You can get through all these, whatever classes you're interested in. Warriors have like a Death Grip type thing on top of their leap and whatnot. Sudden Death procs. Just like everything you could think of that was like missing, they've added. I think the one thing Warriors never got was AoE, but everything else is crazy, man. You would really enjoy it. You know, meta aside, that's like why I love this, is like, yes, there are great classes that are quote unquote meta, but every class can do everything. You're going to have fun and enjoy your class. I absolutely promise you. I think it's a really fun time. So that's number one, and that's the cool shit. Okay, so I think you're really missing out on some of these classes and like full design of like almost like a Classic Plus vibe. Number two, we're going to talk about the leveling. Okay, so those runes. Okay, the runes, if you did not know this, because this was a big deterrent for a reason not to play SoD, is finding all the runes. I did not want to look them up and go find all these runes. I want them now. So what they do, they added that. So I just made a level 1 character here. So every starting zone, as well as every main city, or at least Oregon Stormwind, I know at least, have a rune broker in them. So you just go to this rune broker and you talk to him, and you can get every single rune in the game. They're all 1 copper each, so I don't know. It takes you like, you got to do like 2 quests or whatever to have enough copper to do this. But then once you do that, you could just buy them all, and then as you get your gear, you know, obviously when you start off, you have to get some grays and whatnot, but you could just put your runes straight away on level 1, and makes the level experience one way faster. 2, a lot more enjoyable. You know, I'll give you an example from Druid. Being a Boomy with Starfall and Star Surge at level 1 is crazy. It's awesome. I just started leveling a Shaman, having Lava Burst and Feral Spirits at a very low level, and if you're playing Enhance, you can have AoE Flame Shock like right off the rip, and it's cool, man. There's a lot of classes that just makes the leveling a lot more streamlined, fast, enjoyable. Number 2 on that, so you're going to have sick runes, which makes you going to feel a lot more powerful. You also have these Discoverer's Delight, so it's a 150% increase XP. People are going to ask, does it take a long time to level? Absolutely not. You could knock this out in a week if you you lock in. It's really not that bad, because I'll add on the incursions in just a minute, but having this increase XP makes it pretty quick. Give you a timeline on my level 1 shaman that I made. In an hour, I went from 1 to 10. That's pretty solid, I would say. There's that a little bit. And then, I went from 40 to 55 in probably in a total of 5 hours or so. It was pretty quick, and I think it's a good happy medium. Not too fast like retail where you feel like you didn't actually do anything, but not classic slow where it's super demotivating because you do a quest and you get half a bar. Everything feels very meaningful. Secondly, on top of the leveling, we're going to talk about is I want to mention was the incursions. Okay, so there are these things called incursions. Actually, I can't see them on this character. Hold on, let me log over to my main carry. So you have these incursions which were added in phase 3, and they basically call it a cheesy way of leveling. I mean, certainly you could just quest your way up if you want to enjoy more of the classic experience, but if you are just trying to speed level, you can get to these incursions. I believe the first one is at level 25 in Duskwood, and there's a couple other them as you level, Ashenvale, Feralist, Hinterlands, but these XP, so you have dailies there. So in each one, so let me go to this one first. Oh, actually, I can't even see here. But anyway, in Duskwood, there's one. You can just YouTube all these. You do the dailies once a day, and they give you a ton of XP. There's 10 quests that you can do, and then you could just sit there and grind the mobs. That's all I did pretty much from 40 to 55. Is I just sat in the incursions and grinded it a couple hours, and it was, put some chill music on at a time, and we got it done. Right, so you can just do that if you want, and it's a very quick leveling experience. So just follow that. And then also I want to add, what else was I gonna say? Oh, there's also catch-up gear in those. So if you want to make sure your gear is staying up to date while you're doing that kind of leveling, you do get these emerald chips. So as you get reputation with the Emerald Dream rep, which is from those incursions, you can turn these in for some increased gear at the vendors. So just a cool thing to help you get a little bit of gear as you're doing that, because obviously your gear might fall behind a little bit. But anyway, you got that, and I think that's it on terms of leveling I wanted to mention. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so the last thing I did want to mention that will maybe help you decide on playing this is the catch-up systems for the gearing. Okay, so I'm kind of in, this is where the stage I'm kind of in now. I did my leveling and everything. I'm trying to get geared and just trying to enjoy it, both PvP and PvE. But so they introduced this cool thing called Tarnish Undermine Reels. So these reels are dropped from any boss that's 55 or higher. So when you start doing dungeons, you can start doing these at 55, or you can just run them pretty quick at level 60. But every boss drops these reels, as well as the raid bosses drop 1 to 3 of these as well. And as you get these reels, you can go to there's actually a vendor in Booty Bay where you can turn these reels in for old raid gear, so the previous phase's raid gear. So currently, this is something I actually bought. I didn't turn it in yet, but this is a tier 2 Storm Rage gloves that I can actually get. And all I did was I just spam some dungeons. So you don't feel the need to find a raid group all the time, especially if you don't have a guild or you don't play during common hours. You can just look on, this is the LFG bulletin board, or look at LFG. You find one of these dungeons or whatever, like this BRD, Lower Blackrock Spire, Strathholm, Demon Fall Canyon. That's another new dungeon that you could play, and you just turn these in for some old gear. Or it's not old, but at least helps you kind of get caught up. Like I bought the 2 set of the Cenarian gear. I did a random ZG, and ZG was apparently really easy. The team just steamrolled it, so I got 3 pieces of gear from there. Everything's the catch-up is good. The point I want to get at is it's a very fast catch-up system. A little bit time-consuming, especially if you don't have the gold or anything. I still only have my epic mount, man. Gotta grind some gold or something. But you just gotta put some time into it. But it's an enjoyable experience. I don't feel rushed to do it. A couple other things, man. All right, now I'm starting to think of everything else I want to talk about. Oh, PvP. People were asking, is the server's dead? Okay, is SoD dead? I thought it was dead. So what they did do, let's see, SoD server population. So if you did not know this already, they basically merged all of the servers into two. One PvP, one PvE. So on NA, if you want to be on the PvP server, you're on Crusader Strike. If you want to be on the PvE, you're on Wild Growth. Every other server is dead. Okay, so don't even bother, you know. And if you are on one of these other servers, like my character was, there is free transfers to these main servers. Okay, so you can, well, the PvP ones go to Crusader Strike, the PvE ones go to Wild Growth. So this server is 100% not dead because of that reason. Everybody's funneled into the main one, and that means that that server feels alive. I mean, I'm just in Kargath here. Look how many people are just chilling here in Kargath, and you know, they have these dailies that run. There's a world PvP. There's these dailies that run every 2 hours in Blackrock. This place is filled, especially on like 10 a.m. resets. There is hundreds of people in the zone. If you want to do questing for the dailies, if you want to, you know, start a raid group, world PvP, whatever you want to do, the world does not feel dead. I was going through some who list. You can pretty much type in any level, and there's a lot of people. 20 people at level 11. I'm 32. 11, a little bit lower there. 41. 12 people. There's people at every single level. Point out to get at. So the game is not dead, not feel dead. You can whisper some people, try to form a group for one of the older dungeons. You can do what you want to do on terms of that, but the server does not feel dead whatsoever. There's a lot of action going on here. So if that is one of your concerns, that is not the case. So dang, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? PvP, we talked about raiding, cool shit. Oh, future stuff. Okay, so there is more stuff to come. So currently making this video here, the next phase 7, comes out next week. That is going to include Naxxramas with new tier sets. So all of these new raids, by the way, all have new tier sets that they've made up to accommodate for the runes. So there's new tier sets in there for Nax, and then they're also coming up with the Karazhan Crypts dungeon, which is something I've been long awaited for since OG Wrath people, or OG Classic, where people thought that was going to come out. So that's going to be coming out, and then after that they have a Scarlet Crusade planned raid. So that would be the first Classic Plus-esque raid that's coming out. So there is a lot more to look forward to. I think at least, you know, you're looking at a minimum of another year or at least to the end of 2025 of having SoD. Who knows what they're going to do next? Maybe they'll push us to Burning Crusade, or just keep it as a Classic Plus and keep adding new stuff. I don't know. It's just cool. I mean, you know, I'm not married to this game. I will definitely swap back and forth between retail and this, but it's just an awesome game to just play in the downtime. If you are looking for something to do, I promise you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed the leveling more than I am the gearing. Gearing's a little bit more strenuous and like annoying to find people to do everything with, but just leveling, I just like had such a great time. And also on that note, if you are still playing retail and you're sitting in the queues, make a second account, level on the side during those queues. I think you'll highly like it. But that's all I got. Let me know if you do have any questions on SoD itself. I'm just having a good time myself, and I thought I'd share that with all of you. So have a wonderful day. Leave a comment down below, like the video, and I'll see you next time.